Again, welcome to this live stream. And today we're going to talk about game development. And Keron is the hero of this live stream. I'm just, moderator, if you wish, right? So if you will have any technical problems, just contact me. I'll help you. And let us just chat in Discord general. Okay, not use Zoom chat, but let's use Discord general chat because it's much easier than to remember what we talked about. And if you have any questions to Keron, just tell me. You can switch on your voice. I can control that. If you wish, you can write in Discord or just talk with your microphone. All right. I think we should not lose any time and let us go. Keron, what is game development?
All right, well, that's a tough question now. Starting with a really tough question, I see. Well, game development is basically, making games. So there's lots of different factors in game development. There's the programmers, 3D artists, 2D artists, concept artists, and there's like lots of people who just do art. Environment and so on. There's also sound, sound design, and there's so many different roles in game development, because if you look at Grand Theft Auto 5, the credits, they're like 1 hour long. Like that's so many people involved in game development, starting from programmers to HR and so on. So nowadays, game development is much more than it was, 20 years ago.
So it's not like playing games. Game development should be something different, right? It's not just you sit and play. So many young people think that, hey, I will be game developer. That means all the day I will sit in my headphones and play the games.
Actually, that's possible. It's very real, but you can be a game tester then, and you can play the game all day long,
but not developer.
But that doesn't mean. Yeah, then you're going to be a tester, and that's a role in game development as well. That's really highly needed, but that doesn't mean you're going to play a game that's fully finished. You're just going to be playing this like first level for hours and hours on end, trying to break everything. So yes and no. You're not going to play complete games, most likely.
All right.
So yeah, it's not about just playing games. There's so much more about it. It's like hard work, actually. So you have to, push yourself in this certain direction you wanna do. Like it doesn't mean you have to be, hardcore programmer. Just programming day and night. If you make a game alone, you have to wear all kinds of hats. You have to, like, if you're indie, you have to do the art, sound, everything yourself. So it's not about playing games. And even if you play your own game, when you develop the game, it can be kind of boring. You fix one bug and something else happens. So it's not all about fun and games, to be honest.
Let me ask a question to everyone in this stream. Who is Keron? Okay, because we didn't introduce. So maybe that's not a fault, but I just wanted to warm up things and then introduce Keron. So Ricardas writes that he's sensei like me, like you mean me. Okay, so we are senseis. Yeah, Keron also holds a course, a whole course, Unity game development course, but about that later a bit. Keron is, you know what is Unity, right? Do you know what is Unity, or what game engines do you know? Can you please write in Discord general channel, what game engines do you know? You can use comma to separate them if you know more of them.
Okay, so we have two already. We have Unity, Unreal.
Okay. What else? Unreal.
There's lots of different ones.
So there, let them write Keron, I know that you had some experience also with Unreal, right?
Yeah.
So Unreal, Unity. Let me ask you a very short question, to which you can answer like speaking just the whole day, I know. But what do you think is the difference between Unreal and Unity?
Okay, that's a good question. So, first of all, it doesn't matter which one you start using at first. You can use Unity and you can use Unreal because, like, you know, they're different. And the main difference is that Unreal is usually harder to start with. That's why everyone starts with Unity in most cases.
Okay.
And it's not because Unreal is like really, really difficult to use, it's just it's different. For
Okay.
example, Unreal uses C++, while Unity uses C Sharp, and C Sharp is much more easier to use than C++ for starters. But one of the cool things is if you use Unreal, then most of well, not most, but a lot of designers, like game designers and artists, use Unreal Engine because Unreal Engine has visual scripting, and
Hmm.
visual scripting is basically where you can drag and drop pieces together, connect with any code, and you can still develop games. So it's really simple to make some really easy games without any code at all. And up to until like now, basically, there was no visual scripting in Unity. So so yeah, that's some of the differences between Unity and Unreal. So now Unity also has this visual scripting, and I think you can see the shots already um, about visual scripting. It's like puzzles.
Hmm. So we are talking about, you see my screen, right, guys? You see all of you. Um, yeah, thank you, Arvel, also for your comment. You see my screen. So visual scripting looks like this, right, Karen?
Yep.
So these are like blocks. It's kind of you are actually coding, but you are coding with this kind of blocks and connections between them, right?
Yep.
Okay. And yeah, we know that in Unreal they're called blueprints, and in Unity now they're called
And now the new system that came to Unity is called Bolt,
bolt.
and that's an asset you can download now for free. It was paid before, but now you can use that for free. So that's really cool. And it's because Unity bought out the Bolt visual scripting system. So it looks quite similar to what Unreal has. I'm not sure if Bolt is better in what it does than Unreal, but it's a good start, and it's nice to see that Unity also has this option for people who are not as confident in programming or just want to
Yeah.
prototype something really, really fast.
So does that mean that you can also create games, maybe simple or maybe complex, without even writing any piece of code?
Yep, that's true. It still takes some learning to get used with all the connecting the pieces together, and it helps if you know how to code. But basically, you don't really need to do any code at all. You can just put the pieces together, and you can make a full game. No problem in that. It's just up to you if some things may be easier with code than visual scripting, but that doesn't mean you can't do anything with visual scripting. So
Did you hear that? So then why we need coding? just just do it like in Nike. Just do it. Take it and do it. But then yeah, really, then why do we need coding? You told that C++ is for Unreal Engine and C Sharp, as we know, is for Unity Engine. Then why we need coding? Or do
well,
we need it?
well, we still need coding because, well, even if you can make a game without any code, you're good then. If you can make a game without using code, then you don't need the code. That's the answer really.
Yeah.
But why you would like to have code is if you make a big game, then usually what happens is with the code blocks, if you have a really, really big game, you have like huge visual scripts, you know, and this can be difficult to manage. And one of the issues is unless you make like this perfect visual script,
Mm-hmm.
then often people mess up and they have a lot of performance issues because you know you have it's so easy to put things together that you don't really if you're not as experienced you can have some bugs or
All
things
right.
that just keep on running in the background and you don't even really realize what's going on. So that's one of the problems with visual scripting, that
Mm-hmm.
it's easy to build stuff, so it's easy to have performance issues. You know, you have this secret kind of loop running in the background all the time, and you don't even really know where it is. So yeah, and
Okay.
if you have complex projects, it will get messy eventually. But if you can make a game, you can make a game. There's well, and also with Unreal Engine, you can also access the source code, I think. I don't remember if they changed that, but I think in Unreal Engine you can dive into the source code and make changes there if you're like extremely
Optimization.
experienced
Okay.
optimization. Yeah. But
All
Unity
right.
doesn't have open source. So there's lots of different things why coding is still good. So
Okay. So we have a couple of questions here. I would appreciate if you write questions in Discord because it will be really easier for us to follow them. But anyway, I have some questions here in chat. So first, Ricardas writes that comments. It looks like coding in Scratch. Is that true? I mean,
I haven't
looks
done
like, yeah.
Scratch, to be honest.
Sorry?
It might look so.
It might look
Can you
so,
hear me? Yeah.
but that should be more advanced than Scratch, right?
Um, well, I haven't used Scratch myself. I don't really know what it is.
Okay.
I've never
This
done
is for
Scratch.
kids mostly.
So, but yeah, I think Unity engine, it doesn't. Okay, I looked up Scratch. So basically, the difference between Scratch, it's basically the same thing. It's visual programming. It's just that the engine itself allows you to do more.
Yeah.
So Unreal Engine, Unity Engine, they have like tons. They have physics. They have everything what you need for game development. So it's not that you can't do that stuff in Scratch. Just you don't have that functionality available. That's why Unity Engine and Unreal Engine are better in that way.
Okay. So making small resume, like yeah, look, because I have seen Scratch. I have did some very small things in Scratch just from curiosity. It's also visual scripting, but as Karen told, it's like comparing a small boat to an ocean liner. Yeah. So Scratch is like small boat. You can still do things there, but the ocean liner is ocean liner. You can take a lot of power, people, and whatever. Okay, so the next question comes from Mara. She asked what the difference between C# and C++. I can explain that,
Okay, I
but
see.
Karen is the king of today's session. That's why I will pass this question to Karen.
Okay, so I can already see in the Zoom chat that people are already giving answers. So I see someone says C# is more easier, C++ is older, which is true. And what else? I'm just looking through the chat. C++ is used more, I think. Okay, that's a cool opinion. Okay, but to answer the question, the difference between C++ and C#, well, that's really complex question, to be honest. Well, the first part is true. C# is easier because with C++, you have those pointers and stuff. That's really complex. I have done both. I have done C++ programming and C sharp. I have done mostly C sharp in Unity, so I don't know too much about the different nuances, to be honest. But C sharp is easier and it has more functionality. C++ performs better, so it's more optimized. But C sharp is actually really, really close to like a really good performance as well. So if you want, you can add something to this idea. Why maybe like what's the difference between C++ and C sharp?
Okay. Well, I don't want to drift from the main topic, which is game development, but from game perspective and from programming, also coding perspective, C++ is lower level language than C sharp. What does it mean? It means, I will rephrase maybe what Keron told, but let us say C sharp is when you have a lot of control over the computer. You can do virtually whatever you wish with that because you manage memory, you manage everything. And it is fast because it runs at machine code level approximately. Okay. C sharp is higher level language. That means you have, let us think about that. You have ready blocks to do things there, right? But let's say if I don't want to compare them in metaphor way, but so if you want to drift a lot and go into memory management, then better to go to C++. But if you want just to develop an application or game, which will run fairly fast, slow doesn't mean that it is slow. It's comparatively slow. So it will run really fast, very fast. You will not notice in most cases the difference, right, as a human. But it will be much easier for you to do because a lot of things C sharp will do for you. It's like, driving a car with manual gear control or transmission or automatic transmission. Okay. If you are drifter, then you will go for manual transmission because you want maximum control over the car. But if you want to have comfortable ride from CDA to CDB and to deliver goods or whatever, then it's better to go for automatic transmission, right? I would say this way.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I see some questions like I see people in the Zoom chat saying that it's better, C++ is better than C sharp. And that's one of those things that I get a lot about, from different people that ask me, what is the best programming language? And there's none. It's a programming language is a tool, and so is C++. It's a tool, and C sharp is a tool. Python is a tool. You know, um, if you want to, just hit a nail in your wall or something, you don't need a sledgehammer or something like that. You can have a hammer. Those are different tools for different projects. So if you want to make a simple app or game, instead of using C++, you can use Python, because even though C++ is better in terms of performance, you don't really need to use C++ because the speed of the performance most likely is not going to affect you anyways. So you just have to use the right tool, the right programming language for the right project.
Yeah.
That's at least my opinion about that. So there's no point, saying C++ is better, because why use C++ where you have to write like 500 lines of code when you can write the same thing in C sharp with 50 or 100 lines of code? If you.
Yeah. And plus we have to also, I absolutely agree with you, Keron. And we have to guys know that C sharp is much, much more modern language than C++. We don't talk about it can replace or not replace C++. Exactly. Why? What do you want? If you want to develop an application for some platforms, better to do that in C sharp because it will be faster for you to develop that. Okay. But if you have very specific application where you have to control all the data, how it flows through, then probably better go for C++ because you will have more control, but you will spend a lot of more time. Okay. Yeah, a lot of questions on that. Python also, PyGames. Have you ever used PyGames?
Um, I haven't used that myself, but I'm involved with other programmers, friends that I have, and they have used PyGames as well, and it was really cool. They shared their project and everything, so um, it's lots easier to make a game with PyGames than making a game with C++, because when I was in the university, I had to make games using C++ with STL2.
Mhm.
And that was really difficult because you have to like pay attention to everything. Well, with Python, Python is generally quite easy, so rendering systems were quite easy to make. So my friends
Okay.
made a game in like about a week. So
Yeah, that's the power of higher level like engines like Pygame. But
yeah, so
what I have heard, Pygame is not very powerful. What I have heard from Python developers, it has a lot of features. I mean, if you start making games, then that will be more than enough to start. But for real game development, it's not as powerful as Unreal, as Unity, even as Godot. And yeah.
so to answer one of the questions from earlier, I see it's a really heated topic and people have lots of opinions. So that's one of the things. I've seen people in because I'm involved with Facebook groups as well. I've seen people make a game like a 2D game, and they're like, "Okay, I made this game with 3 years I spent to make this game, and it looks okay." And they get mad, like, "Why no one's downloading or buying my game?" It's because this 2D game has a really good performance. You can run that on maybe Windows 95. But meanwhile, you can make the same game in Unity in about a month. Okay, you can run Unity game in Windows 95, but if you try to sell your game, then no one is actually using Windows 95 to play that game. So just because you can make a game in C++ that has like it runs and everything, it has so much good performance and everything like that, it doesn't mean it's a great game just because you spent 3 years making that. When you can make the
Yeah.
same game in Pygames or Unity or Unreal in, let's say, 1 week, 2 weeks, you know, it's just a random game that you make. But with C++, it takes 3 years. With Unity, it takes a month. So that's why you have to select the right tools. It's a really good learning project if you make this game in 3 years and with C++. It's a very good learning experience, but don't try to expect that you're going to sell this game because it might not be the best game around, even if you spend 3 years
Okay.
making it.
Karen, you mentioned making a game in 1 week. Is it possible to make a game in 1 day?
You can make a game in 1 hour with Unity.
Oh.
Easy as that.
I know that you have also prepared some news for us on the Game Jam, which you will host. So, ba-bam, now news from Karen. He already told me that's why I know that.
Yep. So um, I think previous session I discussed that with the people in my sessions as well. And I asked if you would like a game jam because that's something I have been hosting in the Solid University. And game jams are a really good way to just practice game development. And that's why we've been talking here to host a game jam of our own. So yeah, we're gonna have a game jam in September. Um, I don't remember the right dates. I think it's the 4th until 6th of September.
All right. I'll just drop now the link to
Yeah.
Discord.
So basically, I know that some people are like, "What's a game jam?" So if you click on the link, you can see that you can already register right now, and it's just going to be a game jam, and some of the details on the website are maybe going to change. It's not finalized yet, but
Okay.
basically what happens is, as you
Yeah.
can
What is
see,
Game Jam? Like
yeah.
Game Jam.
So game jam is like a hackathon or competition to make a game based on specific theme and restricted time limits. So as you can see the schedule on the 4th of September on Friday, we're gonna announce a theme for the game jam. So we're gonna say, for example, that it's gonna be flying zombies or whatever, and you have to make a game based on that. That's not the actual team, but we're gonna have a specific team that we're gonna reveal on this date and time.
Okay.
And then you have like the weekend until 1 p.m. on Sunday to finish the game. You can make it alone. You can preferably have a team, and you make a game. You upload that on itch.io. That means you're gonna have a portfolio piece that you can show to your friends or potential employer. And also there's gonna be judges. Let's say I'm gonna judge the games, maybe someone else, and then we're gonna select what's the best game in
Can I
our
join?
opinion. You can join as well.
The judge
You can be
team
one of the judges.
Oh, judge team.
And yeah, then we're gonna select the winners, like who wins the maybe the best game, best code, different topics. The more people that join, the better.
Best music.
Sorry?
Best music. Game music.
Best music. If you have a sound designer, there's definitely a place for best music as well. And there's no there's rules as well, but there's no restriction in what game engine you use. Like preferably, well, not preferably, but most of the games are going to be in Unity, most likely. And that's okay. But if you are confident in Unreal, Godot, or I don't know, even if you can make a game in Scratch, do that. There's no restrictions in where you make your game. It's just that the judges must be able to play the game. So you have to build it properly. So even if you have a C++ project that you have made from scratch, I don't really think you can make a good game in 2 days with C++. But if you can, that's
challenging.
No problem. Sorry?
Challenging would be very
challenging, yeah. I think. So if you make a game in pure C++, then you're most likely going to get the best code achievement for your game. But yeah, that's a game jam. You just make a game. It's really cool if you guys, use the general chat or the game jam chat in the Discord channel. Just try to talk with each other and make a team. There's room for everyone. So even if you have never heard about game development, but you just want to get into that, no problem. Try to find a team. If you can't find a team, you can probably just DM me in Discord and tell me that I would like to join the game jam, but I can't code or draw anything. That's okay. Even better, because that's a new chance to learn about that.
I will pick up some questions here. So Kisalis, I don't know the real name, it's a nick. What if I'm new to programming, and is it still worth going to game jam? And he also comments that I can draw. So you can you can already draw. That's very good.
That's very good, because I remember my first game jam was when I was studying at Solent University. And my first game jam, I didn't know how to use Unity. I had only been programming in C++. And well, I had been doing a little bit of pixel art as well. So I joined the team. We had a really good programmer also from Latvia. And he was really good programmer. So he made all the game, and I was just making the pixel art. But I learned what he did. I played around in the Unity engine, and it was a cool experience. That I already gained some knowledge and confidence in making games and programming. Mm-hmm. So if you're new to programming, you're already, ahead. And if you can draw, you have to join. Yes?
Yeah. You just mentioned that also from Latvia. So Keron now is in Tallinn, Estonia, and I'm now in Riga, Latvia. And you guys are from some also most probably Baltic states and maybe other countries. It was just a comment. And here are some questions. What is the maximum developer limit you are looking for? You mean, Edward, you mean developer, dev?
I think it's the team size.
Yeah, team size. So what the team could be in size.
So if you don't like, I know some people and that don't want to team up with everyone, that's okay. But it's better, like I think like 4 or 5 would be maximum. But if you have teams of like, even if it's a duo team, very good. If it's 3 people, 4 people, 5 I think is maximum. But if you can find more than 5 people in one team, that will be okay. In that case, I would split you guys up. But if you want, you can do it solo. It's usually difficult. Like, it's easy to make games solo, but it's more fun, and you're gonna learn more if you have more people.
Yeah.
Especially in this safe environment. Like in universities, it's like some people don't want to pull the weight, but here it's a friendly environment. If your teammate doesn't have time to make a game, you can still have his opinions, even if he can't code or draw at this moment. Like something happened, whatever, has to go somewhere, he's still your team member. You can ask opinions. Even that's going to improve your game, and that's okay.
Okay.
If you make your own game, it's okay.
So from what Keron talks, game jam is really useful thing. I know what are game jams. I haven't participated in one, but I have watched a lot of videos about that, and I talked to people who participated. So game jam can provide, I think, first of all, this is your resource management, time management, team, and you really understand what does it mean. Unless you do a project with design, coding, game development, usually people don't even people think that this is something like you do one thing. No, you have to manage a lot of things. Yeah, and this is great opportunity to feel that. So if you want to feel that on your skin, it's really great opportunity, and you can just join. It's free for all, and we will have here in Discord. Let me just share fast. We have game development section, and here we will have game jam channel. We will open that today, and you can discuss and make teams. Now, just a brief question. Who wants to join the game jam? Now everybody will be scared and no one will answer as usual. Oh, we have the first yes. You can just give some pluses here.
So Richard, I just call you Richard, but you said maybe me. I will say most definitely you. I'm waiting a game from you, like especially from you. So
Nix is
you have to
scared.
join the game jam.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Nick. So, so you can see there's lots of people interested in. So you don't need to you don't need the team. Just ask someone like, "Hey, we want to make a game," and that's okay.
Like ask Kiselis, can you draw? He will say yes. Then come on and join me. We'll make a great game.
Also, one question I see here from. Oh yeah. Well, I just say Richards. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry about that. But the question is, so my friend yesterday asked how to come up with a game idea, and it's a really easy answer to this question, because in the the start of the event, we're gonna reveal the team. So let's say I'm gonna say like make a game about water bottles. So you have to make a game based on that. It's up to you what you're gonna figure out. Like it can be anything, but that's how you figure out what game to make, and that's really important if we announce the team.
Okay.
And that really helps you to figure out what to make.
All right. All right. So that is really brief but very important information. So follow-up will be in Discord. If you have any questions, just write and ask. We will have a channel for that. But now, Ricardus asks that, can I make a game with my friend if he's not from the tour? Absolutely, yes. It is free for all, open for everybody from the whole world. Okay. Information about courses will follow shortly also. At the end, I will give some, okay? you will get this information. But now we want to talk about game development. Now, Keron, I want to ask you, for example, some parents usually think that, hey, my kid will do game development. That means she or he is a gamer. That's it. So what kind of benefits you get when you develop a game?
I'm going to come back to this question in a second. I just want to address something very quick. So I see Arvil says, I think maybe, but I don't have time for that. So you have the whole weekend to make a game, but that doesn't mean you have to spend the whole time. Even if you can make a game on Friday or Saturday, but you still have few hours on Sunday morning. Just try to make a game if you can. Like even instead of using 3 days, you use 2 hours, but you publish a game, you're already in, and it's really nice to see what you can make in 2 hours. So don't worry about the time. If you have little time, just make something, and it's still acceptable. There's no bad games, just different games. But to come back, the real question now is so if you're interested in computer games, why computer games development is useful for you? Is that the question, right?
Yeah, it's like when you create a game, I'm not talking about a playing game, but when you develop a game as an artist, as a designer, level designer, character designer, coder, concept artist, whatever. Yeah, a lot of things could be there. Project manager for the game. You manage the. You can. By the way, guys, you can not know neither coding, neither design, nor game development. You can manage a team, so you can get a team and manage them, and this is also part of the development. So, Keron, the question is, what kind of mental knowledge, skill benefits do you get when you develop a game?
So yeah, you already answered this question in a way. You get lots of different skills for life, management. If you're an artist, then you have this use for your art skills. You have this new task to make something. You improve in your drawing skills. If you do programming, then obviously increase your programming skills. And even if you're never going to make games professionally, you still have the coding skills in C# or whatever to use in like a commercial company, to make something else. Because I personally was professionally, I've been only working in companies that don't make games. They use Unity, but one company was making different light systems, and the second company was a maritime company that made ships. And so we basically like boats, and we were making this GPS system using Unity.
Oh.
So even if you're not going to make games for life or whatever, you can still use those skills in all other areas. And obviously programming, you're going to increase your math skills, logical thinking. It kind of helps you think like how stuff works.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to look around the different things. Like you're going to look at the ATM system and you're like, okay, so how is this working? You're going to think about stuff like that.
ATM, that's a machine which gives you cash, right?
Yeah, the cash machine.
Cash machine.
Yeah.
You can just approach that machine and it gives you cash whenever you need it, right?
So you're going to be thinking subconsciously you're going to be like, okay, so I think I could program that in Unity and how that will work. And you're like, okay, so it needs strings to get the data and values and, data systems, whatever, so much different things. And
physics, velocities, trajectories.
Yeah, so
fluid dynamics.
Lots of different aspects that you can use in real life situations, and most of the thing, like the best thing about that is it's kind of fun most of the time. If the result is fun. So if you like to solve problems and you don't want to make an ATM machine or cash register and you want to make Tetris or something, it's really easy to do. It's fun, and you can always move on to different things that are more interesting for you. Like everything that's made in commercial products or companies, those skills are also used in game development. You can do all kinds of stuff. So some questions or comments developing is fun, but Blender isn't. So Blender is for 3D artists mostly. I can understand if it's not fun if you're a programmer, but knowing how this thing works is also really beneficial. And if it isn't fun, focus on programming. And you can find in this Discord channel someone who likes to use Blender, and you guys can make a game. Okay, I think I can pronounce them maybe now. Ricardo's. That's better than Richard's that I've been saying wrong the whole time. Sorry about that. But he says to make an ATM machine, you need 100% rigid body. Yeah, okay. You can use elements of rigid body component from Unity. That's an interesting comment. But see, that's what I mean. Kind of, you're already gonna kind of think like what kind of components or stuff you're gonna need when you make something. So yeah, I stretched this question really wide open, but it's really useful for everything to get involved in game development. I hope that answers the question. I can't hear you. Did I press mute on my keyboard or something? That's what I can't hear you. Okay, so Edwards asks, okay, I see we have some technical difficulties here because for some reason yeah. I think you muted as well. Okay, so I think we had some problems here because I still, well, I'm okay. So I'm Richard. Okay, that's cool. But there's a question here about the game jam. Will I be using will using free assets from Unity Asset Store be allowed? So you can use the Unity Asset Store assets if they are like commercially available or free to use. So you can use that. I think I have like a rule in the game jam page. If you scroll down, you can use CC0 license assets, which are free to be used commercially. So opengameart.org is a place you can visit. I'm gonna share that link as well for free game assets. So take a look there and do that if you need some art. So meanwhile, I'm gonna share my screen and see what's up. So I've been looking up Scratch. So meanwhile, when we are getting things worked out, do you have any questions about Game Jam or questions about game design or game development? Something we haven't discussed just yet. So if I'm looking here and there, it's because I have the Discord chat here and my Zoom chat here, so in front of me. But unless you have any questions about game development, we can discuss. Oh, I think someone's typing, so maybe that's a question. Okay, I was developing Scratch when I was in 4th grade. Yeah, Scratch really, I haven't used that myself, but looking at the pictures, I think I have seen that. So it's still worth to try out, and if it's fun to use, it's good for beginners, and it really helps you with visual scripting, especially when you're gonna look into Unreal Blueprints or Bolt. That's the Unity system for visual scripting. So if you have those basics, you can already kind of visualize how to use this thing. So there's no bad thing in using Scratch. I haven't done, but I've seen how this is used, because in my university there was some robotic stuff as well, so you're gonna learn about that. Right, so there's a question from Rainy Boy. How different is making a VR game from a regular one? And that's a really good question, to be honest, because I think like VR is, it seems really scary to most of the people who are into development. And for myself personally as well, it seemed really scary to get started with VR development. But my final project in the university was in VR, and it was a game about different movement methods. So I had to program this game, design, do everything with that. And it wasn't as difficult as you might imagine. So let me see if I can find that. Oh, so my screen was taken away from me, but that's fine. So VR game making is actually not that difficult, because now you have different systems you can use with Unity. Oh, I can use my screen now. Okay, so I'm going to share the game I made. I think I found that. Okay, I'm going to find my portfolio, because I don't know where my games are. So I've used this portfolio link. It's made with WordPress. It doesn't look like really awesome, but it is what it is. And I recommend everyone to make a simple WordPress page just to demonstrate all the decent games you have made. And for me, that's my final project I made in the university. And all the art assets are from the asset store. They are free assets. And I have a video here as well. So basically, I made this game in Unity from scratch, and there's lots of pre-made stuff you can use. You have like, I had to make the systems myself, but there's like tutorials around and some VR toolkits that already implement the basics. So it has the hand detection, so you don't have to develop that from the scratch. So that's really useful. All the functionality, like what you want to happen, you have to make from scratch, but the hand movement, things like that, they're already made for you, so you can use that. If you have questions about VR, happy to answer as much as I can. So I see some comment. I remember Scratch 1 and 2, they were usable. Now I got Scratch 3, and it's far to call usable. Okay, I don't know what's Scratch. But VR, as you know, VR is getting better every year. There's different systems. There's the Oculus Quest and so on. And there's the Valve Index. That's the most recent one and the best VR headset. So VR games are getting better, and right now there's not too many VR games like, games like Half-Life Alyx is the most recent game that's like, a AAA game made by Valve. And games like that are actually what make the VR really good to use and really immersive and cool. So don't be hesitant to join into this VR development. If you have a chance, get a VR headset. They're quite expensive, but if you have a chance, it's worth to develop with those systems, because it's not actually that difficult. I see there's a comment, make an aggressive meat game like Doom Eternal. I challenge you, okay? So you want me to make a VR game in like Doom Eternal, a really aggressive game? Okay. That would be quite challenging, because there's like I think 1,000 people making Doom Eternal. So there's some compare. Okay, so there's more comments. I have seen people playing VR are swinging their hands and they are moving the way they are looking. How does this work? Okay, so that's actually one of the methods that I made for my game, and it's called arm swinger movement. And how does this work? As you can see, I'm flapping my hands left and right to move around. So basically it takes the distance from like this center point to something like that. I don't remember too well, but it takes the length of your swing, and this length is multiplied with some numbers, and then you move forward based on this speed that's generated. So the faster, like it doesn't matter how fast you move, it's like the distance, how fast you move and the distance, and that's how you move around. But this method isn't used in games too much because it's not really comfortable. So you can see the joystick movement where you just hold, like press the control, move around, and teleportation is the second one that's like a lot in games. The other ones are not as comfortable because they can AR. I don't know too much about AR myself because I haven't been developing too much about AR, but I think there's lots of potential in AR because there's lots of room for improvement and use, like especially in education. So you can visualize things. You look at your iPad and there's like, you know, you can study like anatomy, where you have like a human heart or whatever, and you can look around. So I think both VR and AR have lots of potential in game development, and they have lots of room for improvement and to be used in other areas as well. If that, I hope that's a sufficient answer for VR game development.
Karen, can I ask you one question, please?
Yeah.
You talked about AR, VR,
Yep.
and game development. What are potential applications of game development not in game industry, like in, I don't know, medicine or other fields? Are there any? Like, what do you think?
For VR and for VR and AR already people are making like different systems, like how to decorate your home, so you can remodel your 3D house or something like that. I know people like, if you want to sell a house, there's like mini games or games where you can just explore the house or the building. So if you have VR on, you can basically see how your apartment is going to look like even before it's built. So that's one of the use for VR, for example, already. And I know people who have made games, well, demo games in Unreal 4. So they make or build an apartment. And if you look different websites where you can buy houses and stuff, they already have like pictures pre-rendered, like how it will look like. So you can top this up with VR. And obviously in medicine and so on, maybe you can practice something or look into this thing, and like, because it looks really real if it's up close, so you can study those things. And in Steam you already have games that are like simulators that have different simulators where you can try things out or take apart, like there's I think there's like a weapon or gun simulator where you can take an AK-47 into millions of pieces and put it back together. So yeah, also flight simulator as well in real life. That would be really cool. And maybe you can use that in training, where you have your virtual hands and you can press the buttons and have the simulator in VR. So I think VR has lots of potential outside of gaming as well.
Okay. There's a question. How hard is to make a VR game?
Yeah, I think I partially answered that, but it's not difficult at all. because you have pre-made sets or the development kits for Unity and Unreal that you can just import to your game engine. Also, Steam Index has its own system, so just have to follow some tutorials. You already have your hands, the tracking, everything done for you. All you have to do is make a game around it. So it's not difficult to get into VR if you have the opportunity. Right.
Okay.
I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, let's maybe switch. So VR and AR is really fast developing right now, and there is a great future there. And by the way, you can make VR AR games also in Unity, and I'm sure. Well, I'm not sure about Unreal. I'm not sure how they're developed with
You can
the
make
VR
VR
game.
games in Unreal as well.
You can. Okay.
I don't know, but AR, I haven't done AR development, but VR you can do in Unreal as well.
But let's talk maybe a bit of simpler things like mobile games or web games. So how fast to make a game which will run also, let's say, just to you did it for mobile. Is that hard or is it easy?
I think. Okay, so
and which engines are good for that?
So imagine you have like a game where you have to kick a football. You can make a game in 15 minutes if you use Unity. So that's how fast you can make a really basic game.
Okay.
15 minutes if you know what you're doing. If you really know what you're doing, it takes even less. But 15, 30 minutes, you can make a really basic game. Just kick the football, it just bounces up. There you have a game. But yeah, mobile games. I have made mobile games in Unity. I haven't made games in Unreal that use mobile functionality, but it should be really simple in Unreal Engine as well.
Okay.
I don't see any problems why it shouldn't be. I think it also has pre-made systems, just like templates for your project. But making a game on mobile, Unity is a really good platform for that. And you can also use Unity. There's this app, Unity Connect, I think. Wait. Unity Remote, and you can basically test out your mobile game when you don't even have the app built.
Mm-hmm.
So you connect the USB cable to your laptop or computer, and you can basically share the screen, and it takes the mobile input. So yeah, it's really easy to make a mobile game or a web game that you can share around. Right. So let's see. Do we have any more questions?
So let's say what I have heard, and to my knowledge, let's say doing mobile games or web games with Unity could be faster than Unreal. Is that true? Like it should be, because
I think it might be because it has lots
cycle.
of it's really easy to build the game.
Okay.
With Unity, you can make smaller games really easily. I haven't made
and
mobile
also,
games on Unreal yet.
Yeah, sorry for that. And also Godot is quite developing now, and it's also very good for doing like games for mobile and other platforms. And what is interesting that Godot is polymorphic, or no, it's not like polymorphic. You can use a lot of languages there: C++, C#, Python. I don't know, maybe Lua also. So it's not like very language dependent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So in Unreal, we're talking about C++. In Unity, we're talking about C#. Godot, you can use different languages. But I'm not sure is that as powerful as Unity and Unreal. Maybe you have some knowledge you can.
Right. So I haven't used the Godot engine myself too much. I've read into this, but I think Godot is like a really good engine if you want to make a 2D game. I see they have like added the 3D support as well, but it doesn't like matter which engine you use for your game development. It's just like based on what you're comfortable with. way. And also, when you make a commercial game, you have to look into the terms of publishing. So you know that if you make a game with Unity, you don't have to pay anything if you make money. But if you make more than like $100,000 per year, then you need a pro license to update your game. So you need to buy the license eventually. And if you use Unreal Engine, then if you earn about, I don't remember the numbers from top of my head, but I think if you earn more than $5,000, then you have to pay percentage, like 5%, I think it was, or 15%, I'm not sure. So you have to pay percent of their earnings as well. So I'm not sure what Godot takes, but it's up to you to make this decision when you make a commercial game, that all of those engines are good for something specific, and there's also different things you have to consider when you publish the game. Like I said, the fees. So I don't know how much Godot takes, or maybe Godot's maybe entirely free. So far, I've been looking into that. It says the Godot says the license is free to use for any purpose.
Yeah.
So even commercially, I don't think there's any restrictions. So maybe that's one of the reasons you want to use Godot, because it doesn't ask you to pay money at any point.
Mm-hmm. And talking about money, is it easy to make money with game development, like by developing and selling games, for example?
All right. So is this part when I'm so, well, the honest answer is no. With game development, it's tricky, because even if you can, but you need like marketing as well. So it's really difficult to make money with mobile games. I haven't made any money with my games. I have a game on App Store and it has like no downloads, but actually it has few. Like my sister downloaded it. Actually, she paid for the game as well. She paid $3 for my game, so I made $3 with my game.
Yeah.
But you need lots of downloads for ad revenue. You need a good game as well, but basically the success rate for mobile games is 1 out of 100. So 1% that your game is gonna succeed. So there's lots of stuff you can do. You can have paid ads, or like not paid ads. You can have ads on your game or paid stuff. It's your decision. First off, I think it's easier to have like a free game because it gets more downloads. And now that's the part where you can't be hardcore programmer. That's where you need different skills. You need the marketing skills. You need to share the game with everyone and advertise it. So it's difficult to make money with games. It's possible, but you need lots of dedication. You need to be interested in, like, it needs to be like your passion. You want to make games, and eventually I hope to make money with games that I make, but it's always easier if you have people around you that are willing to work with you, because like I said, there are people who are hardcore programmers. They spend 3 years making a 2D game in C++, and they're like, why doesn't my game sell?
Yeah.
So instead of doing that, just keep on making games. If they were publishing, publish them. Publish all the games you make. Publish on itch.io. It's free. If it's a better game, use App Store.
Itch.io. Yeah.
Yes. And so yeah, I see Arvil says you can make free ads to advertise, to make your game popular. Yes and no. There's like hundreds of games coming to App Store every day. So you need, even the publishing time has to be perfect, unless, if you publish your game like 2 a.m., no one sees your game and it's in the pile of games that no one will ever see again. So you can have the best game ever, but it needs good marketing as well. But I'm not saying that, discourage you from making games. I still think making games is really cool. And if you have cool people around you that you enjoy making games with, then you can still make money with games and succeed eventually.
By the way, Keron, is this game jam that you will organize, or you are already organizing, is hosted in itch.io?
Yes, so please make a user there, and you can already start registering to the game jam.
So this
you
is,
can put your name on. Yep.
Yeah, sorry, sometimes
So
I have
see, one
time
person
lag,
has
that's why. Yeah, I just wanted to, sorry, apologies, maybe sometimes I have time lag, so it's asynchronized. But so itch.io is free platform where you can also publish your games, right?
Yes. So basically that's one of the websites where you can sell and publish your games for free. I have all my games on this website. You can download them. They're not the best games ever, but you know, I have my games here. Like, even if they're not good games, it's still, can I share my screen?
Yeah, sure.
Right. So as you can see, here's my itch.io page. You can see I have $3 made, sent by my sister, one payment. I have made like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. I have made more games, but I haven't published all of them. And when you publish a game, you're like, yeah, I made a game. 7 games have 700 views, 100 downloads. I have 3 followers. You can follow me if you want. But basically, let's say my most popular game, the best game I have made so far is this one. It's made with Unity. There's someone, a YouTuber playing my game, so that's really cool. And that's my game page. You can download this here. You can donate if you want. Like, I'm not saying you have to donate, but if you publish a game, if someone wants to donate for your game, then they can do that, or you can just download the game. And you have your analytics. I can see here I have 100 views, 26 downloads, and that's about it. If you don't advertise your game, then that's how it's gonna be. As you can see, no one has downloaded this game in last. You can see the numbers are really small. And one of the games that I was trying to advertise on different like Reddit game developer sites, Facebook, so on, is my final project. And you can see the analyst here. It has 400 views and 38 downloads. So those numbers are not too high either. And you can see no one really donates for your games. So this number is really small. It has to be like, you need good marketing as well. So different ways to market your game are Kickstarters for, if you want to get money for your game, or Indiegogo. So it's basically same as Kickstarters. So crowdfunding. Okay, Nick, thanks for joining in. See you later. But yeah, here you can make an ad for your game and you can share that with people. Same with Kickstarters. People can Kickstarters. They can crowdfund your game, but most people actually use that for advertisement as well, because there's a chance you get money, but it's better for advertisement as well. But this takes a lot of work to set up this page, so it actually looks good. So you can see, other people have, you have to figure this out. So that's really, it can be really long. So it's up to you.
Okay. Yeah, we have some questions. I just wanted to ask that we have to, we're like ending to the end of the talk probably. And
yep.
Please drop your questions here. And this is really very, very, very great moment to ask questions from Keron. First of all, I would like to tell you that Keron will hold another course in Unity game development very soon. That will be in September. And it will be first, there will be a short course, which will be absolutely for free for everyone. And you can all join that course to learn the basics, to understand whether game development is for you or not. And then there will be a full course. But about that information will follow. Stay tuned in Discord. And please read what is usually being announced in the announcement channel, because we put there important information. Now, questions. Keron is still here. And when when you take the live sessions and live course, is that the tutor can help you. It's not like you're watching video and that's it. No, you can communicate, ask questions in Discord, talk to fellow other students, and this has great advantages. We know that because we do that a lot. Now, Edward, how? So you see the question, right? I will not just read it, maybe.
Yeah, I can see that. So I'm going to read the question. Yeah, so please. How similar is modding to, for example, making a game in Unity? For example, Bethesda games. So that's a really good question, actually. And I know what you mean. So there's like games like Skyrim, Fallout 4, Fallout 3, Blizzard games. There's like Warcraft, Warcraft 3, and so on. And I would say that if you're interested in your favorite game like Skyrim or whatever, then modding is a really, really, really good way to start. Because, well, actually, in the universities, game design students actually learned how to mod Skyrim because, the modding kit, a lot of cases, is actually what the developers use themselves. And you can attach things and you can code stuff. So some developer kits take the Lua language. So if you know how to do that, it's also programming, and it actually expands your game design skills. So when you make a level, use that. It's really important, like if you're interested in game design, to try making levels it doesn't have to be Unreal or Unity engine. If you have a game you like, try to expand that. Really useful. In terms of coding, most likely you're not going to get any coding skills from the game engine because, it's more for game and level design, I think, but still really useful. Creation kit, yeah, that's the one. So at September course will restart or will it resume? Okay, so that's a different question. So Edwards, was that answering your question? In short, modding, do that, really useful for game design, level design, environment design aspects. So,
okay, any other questions, please? So Keron also is official student ambassador of Unity. That means, what does it mean?
So basically, yes, I am a student ambassador for Unity, and this means that I kind of represent Unity, and because I don't live in the UK anymore, and I was ambassador kind of there. So basically what I did was I talk about Unity, and in the university I was also teaching Unity. So I have done some teaching there as well. So I also hosted game jams. I have contact with Unity, so I can ask them for help how to make better courses or how to host a better game jam, stuff like that. So, and it was a really cool experience because it gave me the skills to actually talk with people, teach Unity, host and organize game jams, see how, how the prices works, because Unity sent me swag as well. So that's why I had like Unity t-shirts, stickers, so on, that I can give away. And people really liked the Unity merch and stuff. So
yeah,
basically it's just being part of a community that likes Unity, likes game development, and wants to share the experience. And I have support from Unity to do it better. That's what it means.
Cool. Any questions? audience, you can still ask questions, but even if you miss now or just forget some questions, you can drop your questions later in the Game Jam session channel. You see, I'm also getting tired, like, but let us finalize this talk. And Keron, what is like, okay, there's a question. Can we
There's
buy
a question.
merch?
Right. So the first question, what is the chance that people will like your game? That's a very good question. So the chance of people liking your game is you make a game, you finish developing it, and then you're like, hey mom, can you check out my game? And if she likes that, then it's a good game because she most likely isn't a gamer.
Mom,
And
are you sure? Not
yeah,
like friends, but mom?
the reason why I said that is because your friends are probably like good gamers and they know how to play a game really well.
Mhm.
So if you ask your friend or someone who isn't that good at computer games, and if that person can play the game and he or she doesn't need any instruction how to play the game and can also have fun in that game, then this means it's a good game. Because if you make FPS game and you ask your friend, he's already like his fingers are already from the start on W, A, S, and D, and he's good at this game. But yeah, you can also ask your friends if they like the game. Test the game yourself. Ask everyone else to test your game. Use forums. You can use the tutorial Discord chat when you make a game. Ask people here like, do you like my game? Give me feedback.
Yeah, you can put in the showcase channel, by the way.
Yeah. So in short, ask everyone to play your game. It doesn't matter if they're good at the game or bad at the game. If they're bad, that gives you some really good feedback on how you can improve the game. Right, next question. So can we buy Unity merch? I think you can buy that. It's tricky because the Unity merch that I was sent came from USA and it was actually really expensive. So yes and no. I don't think it's worth buying that because the fees are going to be really high because it comes from the US. Maybe maybe in the future if we can have some partnership with Unity and
Yeah,
maybe in the future. But for now, I will you can, but it's gonna be expensive. So how to make ROMs, game ROMs? So you mean like the NES game ROMs? I don't know how to make them. There's this game that came out just recently that was like 50 kilobyte game, and that was designed for ROMs, and I think it was made with Unity, and it had like chip tunes. The images were like 16 times 16, but it was like combined like 16 times 16 pictures and combined to make one, like the player. You have to look this up, like 50 kilobyte game. So you can make a NES game, but I wouldn't recommend that for now. So no images you load in Game Emulator. They aren't 100% game because it's in PC and board. I can't really answer games on NES games. I think that technology is outdated, so I don't have experience with that. So I don't know how to make a game for that old system. But you can make that. There's options.
Okay. Other questions, please? All right. So finalizing this talk, Keron, what would you, I would not say suggest, but like, what is your words for a person who is just starting or thinking about making a game and getting into game dev?
Okay. So the first thing is don't try to make Skyrim. Make a really simple game because the easier the game, if you make a really difficult game, you're gonna get frustrated and give up. So just make a really simple game. That's the first thing I would recommend.
Other recommendations?
Okay. So other recommendations is, if you can, find someone to develop games with. So if you can find in this community or chat, find someone else to make games together. If you can, participate in game jams on the itch.io website. There are lots of game jams you can join at any time. They're publicly available and hosted by different people. Participate on those game jams. Just keep making random stuff. Don't expect the games to sell or whatever. Just make them for fun at first. And when you're confident, then you can start building a bigger game. I think start slow. It's frustrating at times, but just keep on going, and it's easier if you team up with someone.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
What is the easiest way to optimize a game? So I think there's like books that are like this big about game optimization, and like few hours, I think like hundreds of hours of videos and stuff about game optimization. And game optimization starts from the models you're using, the 3D meshes, and the face amount and so on. The sound have different settings, lots of different ways to optimize a game. So there's no easy way to do so. You have to look into game optimization. It's another topic to discuss, and it will take hours and hours to discuss that. And even I'm not that, good in game performance optimization to actually talk about. So there's just too much to discover in this area, because even AAA games, you have Battlefield 3 or 5 or whatever, even those games are not perfectly optimized. So
yeah, sure.
So someone says, so me making Cyberpunk 2077 in Roblox
Probably
is a bad idea.
Bad idea.
I think it's a great idea.
Try.
You can give this a go, and if you try to make a game like that and you don't give up, like you can abandon your project, but if you keep on making games, then it's a really good learning experience.
And plus, someone asked before, I don't remember, how to make people like your game. You can get liked game and transport that to another platform. Simplify it. Even I think simplified people will play that and enjoy. And you will get some fame also in YouTube.
Yeah.
I have made in Roblox.
Right. So Edward says basically like Flash games back in the day. I'm not sure if I understand the question properly, but if you can replicate Flash games, then that's the best way to improve yourself. Take some really easy Flash game and just try to replicate that in Unity or Unreal. Really good practice and really easy to make.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a really good idea. If you know Lua, then maybe make sure you are breaking copyrights.
So this is about Roblox, I think, if you know.
I think so. Okay. Yeah, so copyrights, like as long as it's free, you can basically do anything, kinda. You still have to be careful. Like if you want to make a Super Mario Sonic game, then Nintendo is gonna take down your game most likely, even if it's free. So you have to be careful with that. Okay, someone had to go. So okay. Okay, making games for fun and free. Yes, that's one. Make old Flash games, try to replicate those. There's no problem in that. But 70% of online games are in Flash. So yeah, I mean, there's no harm in replicating a Flash game. You can do that. I mean, if you copy everything, like even the art and so on, then it's sketchy if you're uploading it somewhere. But trying to make games that are really similar to Flash games, that's okay. If you make your own artwork and so on, go for it. There's no problem at all making a Flash game. Because like I said, you're going to upload your game on itch.io. 10 people are going to download it. It's a very good portfolio piece, but don't worry about too much about copyrights and stuff like that. If you replicate a game idea, there's nothing going against copyright with that. Just don't steal the artwork and stuff like that, the sound and music. Open Game Art is a place where you can find free game assets, so use that. Okay, I think Flash will not be supported anymore in browsers end of this year.
Yeah, that's very good point. I think Flash was banned by Apple at some time ago. They didn't like Flash much, and now because of, I don't know, some security flaws or whatever.
Yeah, so you can still make replicate Flash games if you have them available. I think some of the games are ported anyways, so you can still access most of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a really good practice to make small Flash games. Make a Snake game, whatever, Space Invaders, stuff like that.
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man. Make a Pac-Man if you can.
By the way, it's not very easy if you do with all the AI.
Yeah.
And
because with Pac-Man, you already have to learn about pathfinding, so it's a really good project.
Yeah. If you go deeper, then pathfinding and optimal trajectory to catch the hero and so on. All right. Any questions? Any more questions? It's 1 minute for questions, and you think about your questions. By the way, you can continue asking in Discord. So I want to thank you, Keron, for your time. It was really interesting talk. And let's keep informing the community about what will happen next. So I'm really looking forward to see what will happen with the game jam, because it's so cool idea, interesting idea. And let's go on with that, with the discussions there. And you guys, if you have any questions, you know where we are. We are in the Torium server, and you can ask us anytime, any questions. And let's keep in touch. Yeah, yep. Keron, any other things to add from your side?
Yeah, well, just make sure you make account on itch.io. Register to the Game Jam if you're interested in participating. And for any further information, we're just going to update the Discord and let you know about everything. So it would be really cool to see you guys make games. I know at least 20 people already can make games. So I'm really hoping to see everyone from my course to at least participate. Doesn't have to be a great game, because every game you make for this game jam are going to be great anyways.
So 20 means at least 60 people, because each can make a team of 3. So, but yes. I think even if there will be, I don't know, for example, 1 team, 2 or 3 teams, that will be fun anyway.
Yeah, so it's really good practice.
It's very good practice. All right, then let's wrap up the meeting. And also, you can join Keron's free course, which will be in September, but follow Discord and stay tuned, and we'll have a lot of information there. Bye-bye, everyone, and thank you one more time, Keron, for your time, and I appreciate your participation.
All right.
Bye, guys.
So, yeah.
Everybody, enjoy making games.